I'm going to level with you right now, off the bat. I don't have a damn clue what is happening throughout most of the Warhammer 40k universe. I mean, there's a bunch of wars, there's skull robots, and some weeaboo space communists running around, but whatever. It's a tabletop game that a lot of people love, and it's something I used to play with my brother, but not very often. I more or less just built dumb little things that he let me have. But if you love Warhammer, then your passion will shine through anything like the sun through a freshly punctured hole in an orc's skull. Now, when I was given Mechanist or Mechanus or whatever it is to review, I had a bit of a panic attack. I had no idea who the characters were and what made them so special as to get their own title. Luckily, I could rely on Respawning's own Lance to give me a quick rundown. In the simplest of terms, these red cloak lads are tech priests, going around preaching how flesh is weak and machinery is pure, so much so that they augment themselves over time, slowly vadering themselves until they're more machine than man. Or in their eyes, pure. You play as, let me just go over my notes here, Magos Dominos Fastinus? Now, play is a strong term, since this is a tactical game similar to XCOM, and really, Magos just watches things go down with his helpful, creepy floating skull assistant who suggests tactics and hints features. Really, it's a confusing experience to an outsider. Like most Warhammer products, Mechanus just assumes you're going to know what the score is going in. It's not the sort of title for a casual gamer who can just pick it up and say, oh, this is probably worth a go. No, you've got to be a hardcore fan of the 40k universe off the bat, and it would help if you had a half-decent understanding of Latin as well. I went through the entire opening sequence, having terms and history thrown at my dumb face, all while I just mashed that X button looking to get started. Like I say, most of the gameplay will feel very familiar to an XCOM player, though maybe without some of that same charm. The mechanics are polished, sure, and foes are clever, yet pretty easily tricked. It wasn't until I was a few hours in before I came across an enemy who I couldn't deal with simply by using the bog standard pincer movement. The foes in question are the aforementioned skull robots, the Necrons, basically budget green Terminators. Now, while they're machines, they don't seem to be the kind of the machines that these tech priests like, so you've got to drop in on them and destroy them all. Most of these bots are apparently snoozing, and your squad have limited time to get through their tomb and explore them before the alarm goes off and you're overwhelmed. The tension is escalated by a ticking clock in the overworld map screen. It's worth mentioning here that the map screen is terrible. It's not a fun way to swoop between each battle, and it's just a holographic representation of a bunch of square rooms connected by hallways. You choose which room to go to next, and as far as I can tell, there is absolutely no reason to try and find an interesting weaving path. It's all just bloated loading screen cover between each battle. Most battles are fast-paced and fairly tense, seeing as unlike other tactical titles, cover's just not a thing, and the tech priests take a surprising amount of damage. A lot of fun comes from personalising each warrior using upgrades found throughout the game, and you can cyber up your red-robed heroes and make them stronger in different ways. I was keen on one team member who had a large axe, surprise surprise, and so I boosted his movement and physical strength till he could start each match sprinting across the battlefield to deliver an axe to a Necron's skull bits. Of course, the tech priests run the show, but using the available bar of cognition, you can summon some troops, or as I like to call them, cannon fodder, and frankly the game likes to call them that too. You can send these guys into battle on your behalf, and while they have the bare minimum of abilities and skills, they're at least able to distract your foes for a hot minute. As time goes on, these troopers get more powerful along with your tech priests, but still, the priests are the real champions here. There are plenty of options here to keep the true fan of these metal-loving clergymen happy for hours on end, but really, the sheer amount of customization on offer, it might actually be a little bit daunting. When I saw the skill trees opening up more and more, and as I equipped different upgrades, I actually started to get a little bit scared of the time investment this title was becoming. Couple that with some pretty clunky controls and a boring hub world, this is a title that was beloved by fans of the franchise and players on PC, but on console, I feel like the whole experience falls flat. Especially with a game like XCOM out there. There's potential here, but not a lot of perfection. I can give Warhammer Mechanicus 6 out of 10.